And good morning, everyone. Welcome to this day. It is Friday, July 20th. A little humid out there. I'll tell you about the weather in just a moment. On our show today, well, we have from the City Council today, Mayor Carol Moore. She's going to tell us about some events that are going with the City Council. We're going to bring you a segment from Sterling Financial Advisors, and also with a United Update with Janie Durrell. And then we have Dr. Chang on from the California Protons Cancer Therapy Center that's located down in the San Diego area. He's going to talk about prostate cancer. And Dr. Chang has been on a couple times before. It's good to have him back. Now, as far as meetings go today, well, there are not any actual meetings. However, Third does have their new resident orientation. They don't list a room on this where to meet, but you do need to call if you'd like to go there. It is at 9 o'clock this morning, so if you're watching us in the morning, please call 949-268-2040. Now, if you miss that, not a problem. Both Third and United, they do these usually a couple times a month, so you can always maybe, if you call later and set yourself up for a couple of weeks from now, you can do that as well. Now, let's get to the weather, and I got to tell you, I was back in the Nashville, Tennessee, Kentucky area on our vacation. Thank you to everyone who kind of filled in for me. And I get back home, and the humidity level was higher here than it was back there. It was kind of amazing. At our house this morning, the humidity was something like 88%. So we got a couple days of that still going on. As you've seen for the past 2 or 3 days, scattered clouds, that humidity level, and also a chance of thunderstorms in the outlying areas, meaning the mountains and the high deserts. That'll continue for a couple days, kind of a transition day on Sunday, and then, yeah, folks, we're gonna pump the heat back up for you as we get into Monday, Tuesday, really looking like Monday, Tuesday, all the way through Friday of next week. We are going to be anywhere from about 89 to maybe about 95 degrees. So the heat is going to be back on here in a few days. In fact, as we look ahead a little bit, there are going to be certain areas of Southern California that are going to reach like Riverside. They're going to be in the hundreds. Even some of the foothills here in Orange County next week will probably be closing in on 100 degrees. So maybe a little humid out there today, but enjoy this weather. Enjoy the kind of mild temperatures right now. Let's look around the state, and the state is absolutely beautiful this weekend. Everywhere you go, it is going to be sunny. Now, the coastal areas, the North Coast, the Bay Area, Central Coast, they have a chance of a little bit of the morning fog, but that's really going to be about it. But you can see everything warms up nicely. Look at Lake Tahoe, look at Yosemite, beautiful up there. And I have to tell you that both, primarily Yosemite, this time of the year, they can be in the higher 90s, so really pleasant there. Lake Arrowhead, pleasant at 76, and Palm Springs. So again, next week, Monday, Tuesday, all the way through Friday, sorry, it's going to be really hot once again. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Summer is here. Diane's Hallmark has everything you need to make summer cool. From clothing to jewelry to unique one-of-a-kind gifts, Diane's Hallmark is the place to go. Diane's also has a large religious section as well. Come in today to see it all. Diane's Hallmark is located in the Walmart Shopping Center next to Hobby Lobby.
Hi, I'm Brian Rott, President and CEO of Cartmart here in Laguna Woods. My family's been in the golf cart business since 1959, and we win our customers over with the simple belief of we treat you right. We are proud to be the authorized dealer for Club Car here in Orange County and your go-to source for the sales and service to other major brands. We're conveniently located on El Toro Road, just minutes from Laguna Woods. So come by and see for yourself, while when doing business with Cartmart, there's no reason to go anywhere else.
Welcome back. I'd like to welcome Janie Durrell, who's going to give us a United update. And I understand that there's a new policy that's going to go into place that's some sort of an unauthorized alteration fee. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, before we went on, we were talking a little bit about why this came about. Can you give me a little idea of sort of a background on it?
Staff has discovered that there are many unauthorized alterations going on. And so this policy, which the board voted on July the 10th, will take effect September the 1st. And the policy really has to do with a new fine of $300 for unauthorized alterations. Okay. Staff has gone out and discovered, like I said, many new alterations that are unauthorized. Right. And we're trying to bring it all back to compliance. The situation is that when one of our members sells their unit, all of a sudden, with the inspection done through alterations, that there are unauthorized alterations that have not been approved, and then all of those have to be brought up to our code and also the city code. Right. So July 10th was when the board went ahead and they did the first hearing and vote for this particular policy. Mm-hmm. And it will be voted on for permanent at our next board meeting. Right. And the fine that we're looking at is $300. It takes approximately 5 hours between compliance and our alteration staff to do all of the research, and that's the reason. So we are not losing money, staff time. Right, exactly. And so it's paid for that way.
Right, okay. What kind of alterations are we talking about? I mean, are they taking out walls? Are they doing unpermitted stuff?
Anything that is required, and those items we've discussed in the past, but if they go to Windows 7, they can get all the information on what is required for an alteration, okay, and also a permit through the City of Laguna Woods.
Okay, okay, great. So what do you guys do when unauthorized work is discovered? You have an inspector that goes out, and then what happens after that?
So a stop work notice is issued, and everything is stopped. Then a ticket is written. Okay. And it's entered into the system through the compliance department, and there will be a follow-up to be sure when an inspector goes back out within 5 days, okay, that alteration is stopped until all of the paperwork is done, and they get a permit, mm-hmm, through an approval through our department downstairs, okay, through our permit department, and also the city.
Okay, okay. And then if they find that, you know, maybe they're continuing the work, or you know, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, then does the person have to go in front of a committee? Or?
Yes, once a ticket is issued and compliance is involved, the matter is then scheduled for a disciplinarian hearing with the board of directors, right, to determine what the discipline merit would be, and the executive hearing committee will talk with the member, right, and after that period of discussion, then a fee is also a fee is then given, and the compliance department then goes back out and does another inspection to be sure that they have stopped with their unauthorized alteration.
Okay. Well, what happens if? Oh, here I was noticing that you said about $350 would be the fee. Is there ever going to be anything on top of that?
Well, they will be fined, right, by the board, but the unauthorized alteration fee is approximately $300, and that, okay, will be in effect September 1st once the board approves it at our next board meeting.
Okay, okay. And then I also noticed that even though they pay the fee, that doesn't exclude them from anything additional, right?
That's right. The fines, okay, that have been given to them through the board, okay, and the hearings and compliance and all. So, okay. And it doesn't exempt them from any of their fees that they have to pay for the permits.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so that goes in effect September 1st.
Yes, it does.
So anybody that has had anything prior to that, they're kind of off the hook, or?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
You
Oh,
know,
well, that's good to know.
They're still getting their stop notices.
Okay.
The stop work notices. They're still having to come to the board. Still have to, and they will be ticketed and they will be fined.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, do not do any unauthorized alterations is what I think you're trying to say.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Okay.
right.
All
So
right,
just
good.
make it easier when
Yeah.
you have the process of going through the resale inspection when you decide to sell.
Exactly. All right. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We'll be right back after this.
Hi, I'm John Bowser Bauman. You probably know me best as Bowser from Sha-Na-Na, but I'm also president of Social Security Works PAC. And you know, when I'm in Laguna Woods, I always watch Village Television. Grease for peace.
I'm coming for you, Cancer. With California Protons, I now have the technology and expertise to fight with unmatched precision. I'll zero in and wear you down with radiation, millimeter by millimeter. You won't weaken me. I'll spare my tissues and protect myself against future threats. Cancer, you're history. I'm looking to the future.
And I'd like to welcome back with us, Dr. Chang has been with us not too long ago on our show from the California Protons Cancer Therapy Center. Doctor, good to see you again.
Good to see you as well. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning to you. And if folks didn't see our segment, what was it, about a month ago? I guess you were up.
Something about that.
And you folks are located down in San Diego. About,
That's correct.
About where?
About the, what was it, the old Top Gun Naval Air Base,
Ah.
just north of there. So, yeah, we've been seeing the planes flying over as they film for Top Gun 2.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Do you really see that?
Mhm, they fly right over our center, so we're just a few miles
That's
east
cool.
of La Jolla. Yeah.
All right, very good. Well, that's kind of a neat little trivia thing
is.
there. Well, today your primary subject you want to talk about is prostate cancer, and tell us about the way you go about this. I think I've even heard a few people who've gone down there, and
That's correct.
It's a whole different way of doing things. And as you talked about with this proton therapy, the biggest difference is how you can pinpoint
That's
the
correct.
cancer. So before we talk specifically about the prostate cancer, again, if people didn't see you on our show before, maybe a little brief overview of the prostate, or excuse me, about the proton
Sure.
therapy and how that differs.
Sure. Well, proton therapy is a very precise form of radiotherapy that allows us to deliver the radiation without giving so much radiation to the healthy, normal tissues that are around the area. You know, one thing I explained before I thought is a good analogy is if one thinks about standard radiation, X-ray radiation, kind of like a shotgun hitting the area.
Right.
Proton therapy is like a target rifle. Allows us
Okay.
to pinpoint where we're giving that radiation. If you imagine a piece of paper with a circle drawn on it,
Yeah.
and the shotgun, you get some bullets inside that circle, some bullets outside that circle. The target rifle, we can get all the bullets inside that circle. And that paper doesn't care how those bullets are getting there. It's just simply where are they placed. Similarly, in the human body, it responds the same whether radiation's coming from X-rays or for proton therapy. But the main point of proton therapy is, can we place all the radiation bullets, as it were, just where the cancer is and avoid the healthy, normal tissues that are around the target that we're trying to give the radiotherapy to?
Okay, and obviously there's a huge benefit to that.
That's correct. That's correct. And especially for something like prostate cancer you were mentioning, this is the most common cancer in men in America. As we get older, men's prostates will begin developing little cancers, tumors that are in there.
Okay.
They typically grow slowly, but as we are experiencing longer life and healthier life, they can grow to become a problem. And so one of the traditional ways of treating prostate cancer is using radiotherapy from the outside in,
Right.
pointing a beam. But there are some very critical organs that sit right there. Namely, we have the rectum and the colon that sits right behind the prostate, and the bladder that sits right on top and in front of that prostate. And with standard treatments, we can irritate those two organs
Right.
such that men can have worsening side effects. You know, as men get older as it is, the prostate gets larger and men aren't able to empty their bladder as well. With standard radiation, that could exacerbate that, make it worse.
Okay.
And so the thought with protons is, well, can we give that radiation just to that prostate and minimize or get rid of any radiation to the bladder on top or on the rectum behind to minimize those side effects? And that's a very good way of pointing that radiation in there.
Now, I understand that if someone comes down to get that type of treatment, that you pinpoint the area, and they got to stay very still, obviously.
That's right.
And it, you know, it may take several treatments, and I'm sure that just depends on the amount of cancer that's
Correct.
there, right?
That's correct. The typical course is typically men will come to our center once a day. It takes about half an hour or so.
Okay.
During the treatment, patients don't hear anything, they don't feel anything, they don't see anything. There's no invasive procedures, there's no cutting involved. It's like getting an x-ray scan. You just
Yeah.
lay very still on a table. It takes about 20 or 30 minutes in the room, and then man or patient is able to get up and just walk on out and go about their regular activities. So we indeed have had several residents here come on down to our center for radiation treatment. It's about an hour drive down, get their treatment, play some golf in the afternoon, drive back home. It's,
Yeah.
pretty straightforward.
Yeah, great area to play golf, by the way.
Yeah, yes it is.
Or watch the planes come
Watch
over
the
from
planes.
Top Gun.
Yeah.
And as far as people deciding this is where I want to go, how would that work with your primary care physician? If can you opt for that? Can you say, you know what, this is something that I want to explore and see if this is a better treatment for me? And how is it determined that your treatment is the right one versus maybe something else? It does depend on how large the cancer is, how far it's gone.
Yes, those all play a role into it, and we are happy to work with any of the patient's physicians to say,
Okay.
is the patient a candidate for this type of treatment or
Okay.
not? Indeed, there are some cancers, if they've spread outside the prostate to other parts of the body, it can be very difficult to do proton radiotherapy
Right.
for, but we're always happy to review patients' records and speak with their physicians about it. There's other treatments, including things like surgery for removal of the prostate, that can be more difficult because it does involve doing a procedure to open up the body.
Right.
And for someone who, for instance, has heart disease already or has a bad hip, they can't undergo the anesthesia, those we would say, you know, maybe not such a good candidate for surgery. Whereas with proton radiotherapy, there aren't really any difficult cases because there is no invasiveness, and we don't have to worry about is a man's heart not strong enough for the procedure because there's no stimulation to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember last time you were on, you were telling me that although you folks really specialize in this type of therapy has been going on for a while, longer than most people think. It's not
Yes.
something that's brand new.
Correct.
It's just now coming more towards the forefront, right?
Exactly. This type of treatment is actually started in 1954.
Wow.
So this is a type of technology that's being refined and consistently improved upon in the last several decades. Recently become such that there can be multiple centers. The first center that was designed for medical treatment was actually in the late 1980s, but the treatment has been around since the 1950s, and a lot of this technology, excuse me, a lot of this technology actually came about as a result of developments and scientific achievements for computers and such from those who were involved in the initial World War II radiation projects.
Oh, okay.
Manhattan Project and
Right.
things. The computers and the research about radiations and side effects and how to develop these types of treatments all came from those initial scientific discoveries.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, how many patients have you folks had down there and treated with prostate cancer?
Oh, we've treated many patients. In fact, one of our physicians, Dr. Carl Rossi, who's a
sure.
prostate cancer expert in the world, he's treated more patients than anyone in the world with proton therapy.
Wow.
Well over 10,000 patients himself with proton therapy for prostate cancer.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yes.
Well, obviously, it's a great way to go if it fits the patient's needs.
That's correct.
And that's really the key. on that. You brought some brochures along
Yes.
here, and I know on one of them here, I've seen this picture before. Here's, this is the apparatus. I don't know if that's the right word to be using, but.
That's correct.
Yeah.
This is the room where the patient lays in and the machine that goes around. And as I was talking with John earlier about it, we have tours that go on at the center twice a month where we give little lectures. And if any of you guys want to come on down, we're happy to show you around the center.
Now this looks, you know, the picture of this is a better picture. It looks like something out of maybe, you know, Star Trek or something like that.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's an environment that is going to be comfortable for the patient. Obviously, you have to put them down there, and as you said, they have to remain in a certain position and all that. But however, they just lay there for a while, and the therapy does its thing, and they get up and go, which is really great.
Yeah,
no
the
side
patient,
effect to that.
Yep, the patients just choose some music to like listening to, lay on the table. One of my friends says this is the most advanced piece of technology ever designed for medical treatments in the history of humankind.
Really?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
And so we're happy to show it off, and there's people who want to come on down. We're welcome. Please give us a call.
All right, very good. And the website we just put up is CaliforniaProtons.com, right there.
Yep, CaliforniaProtons.com.
And again, you folks are down in the San Diego area, so not too far away.
That's correct, and all insurance companies we work with, Medicare covers the treatment, so there's no concerns really for residents.
Quick question for you. Besides prostate, you do several kinds of cancer,
Yes.
right, that you can do therapy on. It just, again, it depends at what stage it's at and if it's going to benefit the patient.
Exactly.
Right?
We treat a lot of patients with brain tumors, head and neck cancers. Breast cancer is another big thing that we see a lot of, and actually I think next month I'll be coming to talk about breast cancer specifically for you guys.
All right, very good. Dr. Chang, it's always good to see you.
Pleasure, Ken.
Great to see you, and
you very much.
thank you for coming up. We appreciate
Anytime.
it. So again, the website is CaliforniaProtons.com. You can get more information there, and I think we're going to have some brochures
That's
up here
correct.
for people to pick up. All right, we'll be right back.
All right.
This is how we burger, brew, and cue. Pick a town. Arrive hungry, real hungry. Start with a massive burger. Charred, juicy. Add bacon, a buttery bun, piled high. Serve it up, wash it down. Creamy, hoppy, fruity, malty. We're not done yet. Cue time. Deep fried, sauce soaked, pork ribs, meaty, tender. I'm full. Where to next?
All new Burgers, Brew, and Q. Tuesday at 9. Cooking Channel. Stay fired up.
I'm a strong believer that there's something for everyone out there. But some people never stop searching. I've looked long and hard through these parts, and I thank my lucky stars I stumbled across a special place, a unique place, where you never know what you'll find. The Trading Post, only on Channel 6.
Hello, Laguna Woods. My name is Rick Bradford, and I am the pastor of Saddleback Church of Laguna Woods. I would like to invite you to join your friends and neighbors right here in Clubhouse 5 every Sunday as we worship, as we enjoy a free breakfast, and as we learn from our pastor, Rick Warren, the author of the best-selling book, The Purpose-Driven Life. Please be assured that you will be warmly welcomed at either our 9 or 11 a.m. service. I look forward to meeting you personally.
I've been with Clear Choice about 6 years now. I have my wife sitting next to me. She was tired of me saying what all the time, and that's when we sought out a hearing specialist, and we fell in love with Clear Choice right away. The hearing aids worked great. I gave them referrals. My son's got hearing aids from Clear Choice. My neighbors got hearing aids from Clear Choice. And in my mind, Clear Choice should be your #1 choice.
Come in to one of our locations for a free hearing evaluation. Clear Choice Hearing Aid. Hear better, live better.
Well, I'd like to welcome to our show once again the mayor of the city of Laguna Woods, Carol Moore, always good to see you.
Good morning, great to see you.
Thank you very much for coming by. Lots going on in the city. And you know, we've talked about this before, but we like talking about this. We see that the swimming school is they're digging
Progressing.
a hole right now.
I know.
To put the pool in.
And we still keep marveling that that is an appropriate thing, and obviously it is, because they do their marketing.
They
I
do.
know. Shows you how the perception of what we think should go on and what's really going on are often at odds. And it's because we think backwards. The way we did it is the way we're always going to do it, and it's changing, and we're not noticing that until we really step back and look and say, wow, things are changing here. It's not like it was.
Yeah, and yeah, it's great to see new businesses come in the city, right?
So we're addressing things differently. You bet. We're really pleased. We have a number, and then the shopping center, the closest one here, is across the street, and then down the street, they're doing a lot of upgrading there, so that's helping. So we think it's looking good. We're pleased.
Yeah.
Support our businesses.
And of course, the Willow Tree moving along.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's looking good.
Yeah, very good. Tell us about waste management plan. It's called Integrated Regional Water Management Plan. We're going to get to waste management in a minute because I know they do bulky item stuff. That's on your list too. The water management plan.
Now I'm going to ask you to help me with this.
Okay.
When you see me going too long on this, because once I get started on water, I have a tendency to go back to the 1800s. Then just blink your eyes twice and I'll know that I've gone too far. I did point that out, that actually in California in the 1800s, we actually the water laws came from that period, first in use.
Right, right.
Okay,
yes.
even that period right there, they were starting to make laws, and it's even in our Constitution about the wise use of water, because we recognized it then. The farmers in Orange County, there were artesian wells. I'm bringing us up to date.
Yeah.
That there were artesian wells, meaning the water just came to the surface, farmers could use it, it was great. And so they were using it, but not knowing and not realizing there's an end to all things. And of course, eventually they were tapping into the aquifer and sucking it dry. Yeah. And so of course, saltwater intrusion, because the ocean's out there pushing up against that underneath the aquifer. The earth. And so those farmers began to realize that when it rained, they better let the water flood and soak back in. They didn't just, no specific spots, just let the whole thing, which they did, and began to recharge the aquifer. So that went on. So that was our recognition of water and how important it is. And I'm pointing this out because eventually then the water management, and I serve on that executive committee, though that water management, we in our city, our water runs off into two different watersheds. So part of it runs into Back Bay, and part of it runs into Aliso Creek, which is part of San Diego's watershed, you know, a larger management area. Because the state has broken it down and insists that each watershed must take care of and be responsible for the runoff, the waste, and so forth, and even capturing, which we didn't mention that when they came and spoke, capturing any waste, that means cigarette butts that people throw into the gutter, those cannot go washing themselves down to Back Bay or to Laguna Beach or to, you're responsible. Cities are responsible for this. So we're probably at some point going to ask I personally do it, and I know others do too, I do pick up trash because we're protecting our own watershed when we do that. Anyway, this group from the county, thank goodness for them. The state has the overarching, they are the water masters, the California Department of Water Resources. Okay, they're the water masters, so to speak. And then that trickles down, and we're each supposed to be responsible for maintaining and keeping the water as clean as we can. And did you blink twice?
No, I'm agreeing with you because you're
I just didn't want to go too far on this. The point being that they came and spoke, and these people at the county, their responsibility, county has a department, and those people are responsible for helping guide us in the watersheds, coming up with ways to tap into funds, because you probably notice from time to time you vote for a water project and then you kind of forget about it because so many other things we can't be thinking about it. You think, what happened to Prop 1 or whatever? Well, the money's there, you were taxed, it's being set aside, and it helped pay for our water recycling. There was a source of funds for El Toro Water District to borrow money and to complete their project at very low rates. They also got some support from MET and some money that was available, but they also had to pay back a considerable amount of that money. But fortunately, at a lower interest rate, helps them address the recycle projects that we have here. So that's what that meeting was about. They came and spoke and talked about the different projects that are available and how South County has been able to tap into those funds. The Dairy Fork project, which I've spoken to you about, right down the street off of Moulton. So that's kind of where it is. And Prado Dam, I didn't mention when I was talking about letting it flood. They did, and then realized, well, we can't, as we build houses, we can't keep doing that. So the Prado Dam was a result of that to help save the water and in addition to prevent flooding. So those are all projects that came out of that.
It's good to see everyone works together.
We have to, absolutely. Yeah. Everything we do, we have enough people now that just merely, we don't pour the oil from our car on the ground, as wasn't done that many years.
That's right.
The 50s absolutely was done. Even now when we wash our hands, because there's so many people, the sun protection material that you put on your body, that gets washed in there in addition to all the other materials. So we're talking about a lot of material that we're constantly trying to make sure doesn't get into the water, because we're going to reuse that water. We don't want, we should try to protect it as much as we can.
Yeah. Now, the next thing you want to talk about is the city library activity. And this is something that, again, you folks get support from the library system.
Our
and the
library is
and all.
part of the county system, you're right. It's a very, unfortunate, we don't have a space. I've mentioned this a number of times, and so we're seeking people supporting, and people are.
Yeah.
They're coming in, I tell you, really, it's, when you look around, there are a lot of people doing a lot of good things, and people coming into the library and just simply contributing, because we have some forms there if you want to contribute to help support our library, because we would like to have larger space. We need more space. There are people there first thing in the morning to use the computers, people there returning books and ordering books and all that too, of course. Sometimes the line there's a line there. So because of the larger system that we appeal to, and the type of material that they want, in addition to the electronic equipment. So anyway, yes, thank you. And we have people starting to do that, and we really appreciate their being so interested in their neighbors and giving back. That's nice.
And here's hoping you guys get a bigger space one
Yes,
day.
we do. Thank you.
Yeah, that would be nice. Now let's talk about something that is been moving along and really great, is the dog park. You want to give an update? And I think we have a slide we're going to show about that. Yeah,
that's going to be interesting, because the dog park, we came up with finalizing the rules. The dog park committee themselves.
I love that. I'm sorry. I love
Isn't that cute?
Yeah,
Isn't that
that's
cute?
great.
How could you not like a smiling dog?
I know. I know.
You know, that's one thing about dogs. You can leave and be gone all day, leaving them and not perform. They're not eating on time. When you come in, they don't say, you know, I have been so annoyed and I'm just really mad about it. They aren't. They're happy to see you, and they're very forgiving. Anyway, the dog park, that's why we love dogs. The dog park is progressing, and the dog park committee support group they formulated their rules so that they're, we have able to support what's appropriate in the dog park and so forth. And so that's been getting really close now to what's going to happen to the dog park. And the part of this is the dog park people themselves and people who are interested in dogs can support their own animal by contributing, and there's a large wall there, so they can commemorate, do whatever they would like to.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's going to be really nice. And right now, this form will go until October 31st, when we'll cut it off, and that will be those who decided to do something for the dog park. So it could be a creative thing. It is. It's a chance to be creative, a chance to a little memory, if you care to. If that's on your mind, because that's nice too. So
it'll be like a little plaque or a brick or something?
Could be. The wall itself is fairly sizable, and I think it tells in there further. Let me see if it's okay. It says right on a plaque inside the dog park, this is a great opportunity to leave a lasting legacy.
They can pick these up at the city. We'll probably have some downstairs
Probably
as well.
see them online too, I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. Now, something that's going on today is the shredding event. Now, I have the time, but where's the location?
Okay, it's right there next to our City Hall. Our City Hall parking
Okay.
lot is not large enough to really do it there, so it's St. Nicholas Church, which, once again, see how our neighbors, people
Yeah.
all helping one another, they let us use their parking lot, and I believe, is it from 12 or 12:30?
12:30 to 3:30.
12:30 to 3:30. Please bring, here's a great time to get rid of your shredding. From now on, just put it in a bag in your garage or wherever you want to save it, and
Yeah.
then just bring the bags
Yeah.
in. And I believe there's a limitation on the number of bags. I think no more than 5.
Right,
And
which is a lot.
certainly-
You got 5 bags.
Yeah,
you can
and this
keep
is
them
not
stuff.
newspapers too. This is
Right.
recycled materials should go with recycled. This
Yeah.
is material, pardon me, that has information that you do not want made available to other people, so it needs to be shredded.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing that you would be bringing. Please do it today,
Yeah, today, 12:30 to 3:30 at St. Nicholas.
right next to City Hall.
Now, bulky item, electronics, and you know, we won't want to be putting these things into our big dumpsters here. There's a proper way to get rid of these type of things. And you know, electronics is nowadays, you know, nobody gets stuff repaired anymore. It's not worth it.
Well, you can't. They can't. I want to give an example
like
why
old
you can't.
computers and stuff.
Well,
yeah.
I have a printer, and the printer works fine. The problem is updates to your computer.
Yeah.
The printer can no longer
Right.
match the computer. So even though if you had an older computer, you didn't update, then you could use it.
Right.
So that you have a problem. It's not just a matter of what do I want to say, software for
Yeah.
it. It's impossible to bring this
Yeah.
computer up to match it. So there you go. On Saturday, you can put those kinds of things by the dumpsters, and they will be picked up. So
Okay.
great. Please do that Saturday.
Yeah, but remember that is this Saturday, and
Day
go
out
ahead and
tomorrow.
do that. Yeah, but don't be just throwing those things away
Right.
normally. There's
Don't
proper
put them in
ways
the
of-
trash.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, now you're going to have a transportation meeting at the City Council next Wednesday, the 25th at 5:30.
And here's one of those cases of progress. We talked about seeing how things have changed and have they changed and where are things going. The Caltrans and OCTA have had plans to change the interchange. It's their 10-year-old
Right.
knowledge of what they were going to do, but no specific plans how that might work. And so we need to turn out at the city to make sure that they understand that we certainly do not want an interchange or a widening of a freeway that would affect the houses. And that would be gates 5, 6, gates 1
Right.
along there. And I was just speaking to something that is, in the 90s, I remember taking science courses on this, the heat from paving. Put a thermometer on your driveway and put one on your grass, and
Yeah.
I don't even think I have to tell you
Right,
one will
right.
not be as warm as the other. Okay, the problem, and I think you can see it yourself, measure it yourself. When you're driving around, check the temperature, the outside temperature when you're in heavily paved areas like Irvine, Lake Forest, those kinds of areas, and then drive inside our gates and look at the temperatures. Not infrequently, our temperatures can be 5 degrees or more
Right.
below, and you have to ask yourself, why would that be? And of course, we know that
Yeah.
reasoning is
Yeah, because the whether it's your house or whatever it is, stuck or something, it radiates heat. It
Yeah.
holds heat throughout the day.
But we have
Yeah.
a lot of open space
Yeah.
inside our gates.
Yeah.
And that open space helps protect us from the heat. And so all those trees, the shading,
Yes.
the grass, they're not absorbing the heat like a paved road is, paved buildings, glass reflecting back the heat. So you can see the difference right there,
Yeah.
why it's important.
And
So-
that will be Wednesday, the 25th. And this is something, it's funny, OCTA, I remember hearing about this years ago. We're talking about the El Toro interchange. And then all of a sudden I stopped hearing about it. They were like, I can remember probably 5, 6 years ago, they were planning on doing that like within 2 or 3 years. And then I stopped hearing about it. I've even gone on to their website several months ago, and there's no real updates to that. So I was wondering what's happening.
That's what we're all wondering.
I was
Thank you.
thinking, well, are they waiting for what was called the Laguna Hills Mall to be completed, whenever that will be? What's going on? So.
And of course, we're watching that because that seems to have had some real stop and go situations there, and off ramps and so forth. Interestingly enough, the OCTA, I attend the SCAG meetings, which are in Los Angeles, which are the Southern California Association of Governments, and that transportation, that's one of their main goals, or duties, I suppose I should say. There are changes, and I think that OCTA at a meeting there, they said that people do not want more land and housing taken for freeways. They do not want that.
Yeah.
And if they don't want it, only one mayor objected to that. It's not whether you like that or not. It's a fact. You have to look at the facts. The facts are people don't want that. If they don't want that, and you have 18 lanes, as we do, where the 405 and the 5 meet, and 18 lanes is not sufficient, then is it 25? Where is the point here? So we're starting to understand that, and I shouldn't be even starting, because it's been for quite a while. People are saying, oh wait, we've got to address this slightly differently. How can are we using the roads efficiently? If we have clots, I call them clots, because to me they are, your blood flows through your body, and your little red blood corpuscles and your white, they're bumping into each other, but they're going right along. And why is that? Why aren't they clumping together? And if we can do it in our body, then and they're crowded. Let's think about that. Why can't we do that on the freeways? Because we're not using them efficiently. And so there's some things we can do.
All right, so that meeting is coming up next week, Wednesday, July 25th at 5:30. I want to thank you.
At City Hall.
At City Hall, yeah. I want to thank you for coming on.
As
always, good to see you.
I always enjoy coming, because I learned a lot of things from you. And
lots of good stuff going on in the city, and you can always check them out on their website as well. We'll be right back.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
Looking for a change of scenery? You don't have to play golf to enjoy all that 19 Restaurant and Lounge has to offer. From a delicious breakfast menu to our delectable lunch and dinner specials. At 19 Restaurant and Lounge, there is something for everyone. Relax with your friends and family and take in the beautiful view from our spacious patio. Or enjoy a cocktail and appetizer in our lounge. 19 Restaurant and Lounge is a great place to socialize, enjoy a meal, or simply take in the view. Join us 7 days a week and experience Laguna Woods' exclusive dining experience.
Hi folks, this is Dan O'Weiler with Sterling Financial Advisors. You've seen me from time to time coming in to be on Channel 6 with Ken Goldenberg, and he has interviewed me with various retirement topics over the years, and we've decided to maybe take a little bit different approach in educating you on some things that we think are important in setting up a secure retirement. You might have known that we put on retirement seminars with our company, Sterling Financial Advisors, and we do that from time to time, maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks. We have people come to our seminars, and we actually have them write down questions in regards to some things that they would like to hear in the seminar and what is of interest to them. Interestingly enough, all of the questions probably fall within 4 or 5 categories. Retirement income, when I should take Social Security, how much money do I need? All those types of things are questions that are commonly asked in the seminars that we take. Well, so we thought we would put together some of these subjects and have me just maybe educate you a little bit, kind of talk to you about what we think is important in those different categories. And so today we're going to be talking about required minimum distributions from retirement plans. There seems to be a lot of confusion as to how you go about taking that. Do you have to in fact take those distributions? So I think we'll talk about required minimum distributions and the guidelines and the laws regarding that. So we'll go ahead and get started. I use a whiteboard and we'll just kind of talk to you a little bit about the basics of required minimum distributions and how they work. So I'm going to move over here to the board, and so if you can follow me, that will be great. The first thing to know is that at some point the government has told us we have to start taking money out at age 70 and a half. So at age 70 and a half, it's called required minimum distributions. And that means the government says to you, if you have an IRA or a 401k, 403b, 457 plan, any type of retirement plan where we're obligated to take those requirements out, we have to start that at age 70 and a half. Now, somebody has asked, well, when by 70 and a half? Well, it's April 1st of the year following when you turn 70 and a half. So let's assume that here we are on, let's say June 1st, we turn age 70 and a half, okay? That means we have till the following April 1st, before we have to take our first required minimum distributions, okay? So if we have a $300,000 IRA, I'm just taking that as an example. I know some of you have more, some of you might have less, but if you have $300,000 in your IRA account or 401k and you turn age 70 and a half in June, okay, you have till the following April 1st until you have to take your first required minimum distributions. Now, if you wait till April 1st of the following year, then by December 31st, you have to take out another distributions for age 71. So you would have two distributions in that first year if you wait till April 1st. So tax-wise, tax planning, you may want to consider whether or not it makes sense to wait till April 1st that first year, because you'll have a double distribution that year. But let's assume you have $300,000 in your IRA. You turn age 70 and a half. Okay, how do you go about figuring out what your required distribution is? Well, there's a publication called Publication 590 of the IRS Code. It's a publication that the IRS publishes that talks about distributions from IRA accounts or 401ks or retirement accounts. And they list a schedule there of life expectancies. For age 70 and a half, it is 27.4. So that means next year, when you're age 71, it would be 26.5, and then 25.7, or whatever that factor is. You have to take this factor and divide it into $300,000. So you would take 27.4 divided into $300,000, and that turns out to be $10,950. So that's what your required distribution is for that first year. You would have to take it out by April 1st of the following year. Now, what happens if you don't take it out? Well, there's a problem there. Okay, if you don't take out $10,950, whatever you don't take out is subjected to a 50% penalty, and that's a high penalty. So if we only take out $5,950, we are $5,000 short. That means that you would end up paying 50% penalty on that, which equates to $2,500. Okay? And so you would end up having to pay a penalty of $2,500 that very first year if you failed to take out all $10,950 and you were, in this example, short $5,000. So you don't want to forget taking out your required minimum distribution. You always want to make sure that you will do that every year no matter what, because you'll have to pay that penalty, plus you still have to go back and take out that $5,000 that you didn't take, which creates more taxes on your tax form. So you always want to remember, folks, to take out your required minimum distributions. There's really no way to avoid required minimum distributions from our retirement accounts because the government has allowed us to defer these taxes over a period of time. Many times people will say, well, can't I just pass this on to my kids and avoid that? Well, that would be nice, but the government requires us to take out this because they want the taxes, and they said age 70 and a half is when we have to start taking this out, okay? And so we're going to talk about maybe some options that we have and that can have what we call an exit strategy from these tax-infested accounts, so to speak, how we go about maybe minimizing the amount of taxes we or our heirs have to pay. And so we want to be able to have some kind of exit strategy rather than just sticking our head in the ground thinking that this problem is going to go away, because it never goes away. So we're going to, in the next segment, we'll talk a little bit about maybe some strategies that we use with some of our clients in being able to reduce or eliminate the taxes on these types of tax-infested accounts. So this is Dan O. Weiler, the retirement professor, wishing you a great day, and we hope you have an enjoyable retirement. Thanks.
And our movie coming up today is an inspirational movie. It's called I Can Only Imagine, and it's about the unknown story behind Mercy Me's beloved chart-topping song that brings ultimate hope to so many people in this gripping reminder of the power of true forgiveness. This is based on a true story, and it stars J. Michael Finley and Madeline Carroll. We bring that to you today, our Friday movie. It will be at 2 o'clock and at 7 o'clock. So join us for that. And excellent reviews of this movie. I have not seen it yet. It's rated PG-13, 110 minutes, and it came out earlier this year. So check that out. I Can Only Imagine, 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock today, Friday. Now, our Monday movie is also based on a true story, 7 Days in Entebbe, and it's inspired by the true events of 1976 hijacking of an Air France flight en route to Tel Aviv to Paris, and the most daring rescue mission ever attempted. And I remember when this happened. This is the movie version of this. I seem to believe that there has been a couple documentaries on this in years past, and there might have even been a made-for-TV movie, because I remember the title of this. But this is a new version of this movie. Came out earlier this year, rated PG-13, again, based on a true story of that event that happened way back in 1976. So those are our movies coming up for Friday and also on Monday. And then coming up in a little while from now, July 27th, we'll bring you A Wrinkle in Time. And on July 30th, A Midsummer's Night Dream. And that one, by the way, is all the way from 1935 with James Cagney. So we're bringing you a classic going way, way back. And, well, hard to believe that's, what, about 80 years ago or so, 82 years ago. Pretty amazing, 83 years ago. All right, I want to tell you about an event that, well, Twilight Golf Tournament. You know, this time of the year, what better time to play golf than twilight? At least for me anyway. I'd rather do that than midday. Now this is happening Sunday, July 29th at 3:30, And this is at the main golf course on course 3. The cost is $20 per person and includes a barbecue dinner after. This is going to be a lot of fun for you golfers out there. What a nice tournament to be a part of. It's going to have a 9-hole shotgun start. There will be prizes for the winner, and really for $20, wow, that's fantastic. If you like more information, please call the Recreation Department at 597-4273. It's going to be a fun event. Now, also a fun event, on Saturday, July 28th, the Laguna Woodstock 2018 event, and peace, love, and music, right? This is being brought to you by the Baby Boomers, and they've done this over the years before. They're going to have some featured bands there, and a lot of fun over at the Clubhouse 2 lawn. Admission is $15. Early setup is at 7 a.m., and then wristband sale will begin at 8 a.m. Adults only, no pets. That's what it says here. And it will be about from 2 p.m. to all the way till about 9 p.m. that day. So you got plenty of chances to hang out, see all different kinds of music. Now the weather, well, as I was saying, I just got back from the Nashville area, and the weather here seems just as humid as it was back there, at least for the next couple days. Then things are going to start to heat up beginning next week. Monday all the way really into Friday, it looks like now. We're going to be hovering around that 90-degree to mid-90s mark as we make our way into Monday, Tuesday, as I said, all the way into next week. So we got some hot weather coming up, so enjoy this. The state this weekend is looking good everywhere you go, absolutely beautiful. So enjoy that and have a good time this weekend. And thanks again for everyone who kind of filled in for me when I took our vacation back to Tennessee and Kentucky. And I have to recommend, go to Dollywood. It is absolutely wonderful. Visit some distilleries in Kentucky and visit the Grand Ole Opry. It is really special to see the performances there. All right, see you. I'm done. Take care.
Mama used to 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 Mama used to